Hello, my name is Lauren Von Elm, and I will be going over the Local 58 analog horror series on YouTube. It was written and edited by Chris Straub, Kris space Straub. Um, and so before you continue watching this video, watch the series. You don't have to watch through, just the videos are less than 5 minutes long. And there's like less than 10 of them. Like there's like 9 of them, and the longest one is 5 minutes 11 seconds. Most of them are closer to 2 minutes. Go watch through this series. You can watch it through in like 20 minutes. Just go watch it. Um so uh if you just want to watch the videos we're going to really talk about, there's the 3 you'll be able to easily find are Weather Service, Show for Children, and Skywatch. There's a 4th video I'm really going to focus in on called Close, but I'll explain how you find that video when we get to it. Well, I'll just stop right here. You just go to playlist on YouTube. It's unlisted, so you can't find it under their video section, but it's on a playlist. You can find it there. But it's an amazing series, and you should watch it. You should support it. Obviously, I'm going to be going over spoilers for all this, and it's something, in my opinion, that's best watched blind, and the supporters deserve every little bit of support. So go watch it. This is on YouTube, by the way. I don't remember if I said it, but this is found on YouTube. So on YouTube, if you just look up Local 58, you'll find it easily enough. It'll probably be the first result. Just amazing. 10 out of 10. So, I'll kind of just give a little bit of summary about some of the stuff that's going on. I'll just kind of go through. So I'll just take out some of the little things from the different videos. So first video, you are on the fastest available route. It's being broadcast on a network. This is being broadcast on a TV. So you go from your da 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 TV screen to dash cam footage on a car. And it's like you are on the fastest available route. And again, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. Go watch it. It's like maybe less than 3 minutes, I'm pretty sure. Go watch this. I'm gonna be spoiling all of this, so spoiler warning. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. But so over the course of basically 3 hours, the GPS appears to be hacked at some point, and it leads this guy further and further from civilization. So to the point that it tells the driver to go down a do not enter road, and then it says in 300 feet turn off your headlights. And this guy does it. He turns off his headlights, and then we hear this loud noise. And the driver turns off his headlights, and for a few seconds you can see something there. It's iffy on the canonicity of the thing being there anymore, because, well, no, it's not. Never mind. There's a whole thing. So the creator specifically debunked the theory of aliens through a tweet. He was like, "Yeah, no, this is not all being caused by aliens. Thank you." Because it was just a really popular theory that was bringing up because of both this thing being in the video and then some other details later on. That everyone was like, "Oh, it's aliens. It's aliens." And he was like, "No, it's not aliens." And we're like, "Okay." But yeah, so then it cuts to the driver driving furiously away. And it's like, and the GPS is like, make a U-turn. Your destination is in 500 feet. In 300 feet. In 250 feet. You'll arrive at your destination. In 50 feet, crash. And the car just gets wrecked by whatever this creature is. And we cut to this glitchy footage of like fire. The camera is all cracked. You have arrived. So this first video, not really related to the moon or astronomy in any specific way, but keep in mind the concept of technology being overtaken by something else. And yeah, this takes place at night, by the way. This is like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Who is driving from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m.? But yeah. So next up is Local 58, Video 2 Contingency. I'm gonna try and keep these a little bit shorter now. I'm gonna try and like shorten my descriptions of it, because otherwise we'll be here for an hour. So this broadcasts at 3 a.m. Thank God. The TV messages are like, okay, we're done for night, have a good night. And then we have and by the way, here's a specific note. Have a good night is overlaid upon a photo of the American flag being planted on the moon. This is a detail. That's why I'm going over these, because it's like, some of the videos aren't really focused on astronomy. They have little details that make all the difference. So Contingency Plan is a crazy video where it addresses the American citizens, saying that the USA has surrendered and is calling upon the citizens to act to preserve the memory of the United States. If you didn't manage to read through it, one of the slides says, access to a loaded firearm is ideal. Place the muzzle, hole of the gun, upward to roof of mouth. Thank you. And another slide says, your local law enforcement has been ordered to ensure your compliance. It is against the law to delay. This message will repeat until there are none to read it. And another slide that probably goes by way too fast to actually read. Infants and pets, the smallest patriots. Oh my god. And this is why I love analog horror. And then another theme for just a few frames, as like it's like kind of going to hell and everything. It says the 51st state is not a place. That is an important little thing. I don't know if you know about it yet, but I'm going to tell you about it, but not right now. I'm going over the videos. So then the TV station seemingly gets a hold of the station again and goes, yeah, sorry, that was a hoax. Apologies. Whoops. The fact that I know for a fact that if something like that played on air in America, there would be people who followed with it. That's insane. It's just an insane video. Also, one thing why would this kind of tape be made? Why would this tape be made? What does the government know that could completely take over America, that would result in our complete surrender, that they're like, okay, let's all die? Not a nuclear bomb, because a nuclear bomb would just kill us all already. Why would we have to kill ourselves if there's some danger that's so big and total that if we had to surrender, we would still be alive, but we would have to take our own lives? Just putting that out there. So next on to video 3, weather service. This is one of the ones I really emphasize. So an emergency alert system interrupts the broadcast with a weather warning. It's saying that there's a meteorological event and it's not safe to view, and their citizens are advised not to observe this event with the naked eye. Then we kind of go back to our original programming for a little bit, and then we have a civil danger alert, and it's like bright red in the background, and it's like, here's a correction, do not look at the night sky, which it's only, that message is only up for a few, like not even a second, and then it's immediately taken down and replaced by an image that says, the meteorological event is safe for all to view. Warning has been lifted. And like when the text pops up, it's like lifted, it's still being typed out. So it's been hijacked and it says, go outside now. So we've gone from, yeah, don't look at the sky. Don't look, you cannot look at this. Don't. To, yes, go outside. Look at it. You should see it. So then there appears to be a fight over the waves, over the transmission, and it says, the text that pops up says, do not look at the moon, stay inside, don't look at the night sky, face away from all windows, avoid mirrors, do not look up. And then another weather warning pops up, and here's the fun part. It's in the light. The moon came in. He found me through the mirror. Moonlight white. White like eyes. Not light but blood. I drown in him. If you are afraid, we will look together. Cut to camera B. By the way, camera B, we saw for like a little flash of a second in the beginning, and we saw just a little sliver of a moon, like up here, up in this corner here. And now we are in camera B again, and we've zoomed out, and we're looking at a much more complete version of the moon. You still have some of it cut off, but it's like fills up a good portion of the screen, and you hear screaming in the background. It might be people screaming, but I have another option that I'll go over at the end that's not people screaming. Boom. Yeah. So, video 4 is, it's a little channel trailer thing. It's like a few seconds long. It's 14 seconds long, literally. And it actually gives us some information about, it says analog horror at 476 megahertz, which is which must be where, the local 58 is being, like, broadcast by that, like, frequency. And then we get some little text images that say, look away, it does not matter, there are other receivers, safety in numbers. There are other receivers will pop up again, so keep that in mind. So video 5, here's another one. Here's a a show for children. This plays, according to the video, at 4:15 a.m. Who is watching public programming for children at 4:15 a.m.? Every child is asleep at that point. If they're not, then they have like they need to be asleep. So it's a little cartoon starring this little character named Cadaver, who is a skeleton. He's cute. He's got a little beret. He's adorable. I love him. It's all black and white. This is an old black and white cartoon. And so it starts off with him walking through a graveyard, and there's a cartoon moon in the background, watching him smiling creepily. I don't like this moon. It's like, I just don't, it's a creepy moon. And it's watching him and smiling at him in the background. So Cadaver arrives at the first grave, and he's like, maybe there's a girl skeleton in it. And so he looks in, and he sees a far more realistically depicted skeleton with these like really sharp, distorted like teeth, like what you imagine, like it's just like sharp needle teeth. They're just all crooked and together. It's a mess. And he's like kind of lying with his uh hands above his head like this. It's kind of like. And by the way, the skeleton still has eyeballs. The eyeballs are perfectly intact, and they're just in like these just black hollow bits, just like looking up, whether at Cadaver or the sky. We're not sure yet, but I think I know the answer. So, the next grave, he looks in, and you'll actually be able to see, if you probably didn't catch this, but you can see a little bit of the moon in the corner. The cartoon moon, its little eye is peeking in the corner of the Cadaver, which he did not do before. The moon did not do this before. And so, Cadaver looks in along with the moon, and we see these like fleshy tendrils are everywhere, and there's just this thing. Not sure what the thing is, but it'll come up later, I'm pretty sure. It's this like beaked thing. It makes a little noise. It's disgusting. It looks like an embryo. That's the word, embryo. It looks like the embryo of something. Like the embryo of something growing, and all those tendrils make me think egg. Something is growing inside of an egg. But what egg is it growing in? Why is it in the ground? Sorry. Yeah. So Cadaver gets spooked, runs off again, and he looks, and after this, when we come back to the next scene of him walking, the moon is no longer smiling. And its eyes that were once big and took up like the head, like in the cartoons, it had big pupils that took up the entire eyes. The pupils are now tiny. They're smaller. And the moon is no longer smiling at him. Not sure exactly why, but it's creepy as hell. But he arrives to the last grave, and there's like a hole. And he goes down the hole into this cave system, and he walks, and then he finds this like area that has light shining down from an open grave above him. It's like just open grave, just kind of holes into this cave. And he lies down in the plot of light, and he's looking up at the sky. We cut back to him, and he closes his eyes. We cut back to the opening, and then there's this bit of a photorealistic moon with an eye, just kind of. And we only get to see the one eye, so just kind of peeking in like that, and it's creepy as hell. And we cut back to Cadaver, and he's dead. Of course he's dead. He's a skeleton. No, like dead, dead. Like his clothes are gone. He's painted in that photorealistic style we were talking, that more realistic style, not photorealistic. My apologies. Just more realistic style before of that other like dead skeleton guy. And he's dead. And that's how that ends. Something to keep in mind, that I want to put a pin in, we'll come back to it later, is the fleshy tendrils of that second grave. We will get back to that. God, this is gonna be a long video. I'm so sorry. Video 6 is a look back. This this one is just it's a really quick, short one. It's going through all the different title screens that the local 58 channel has had over the years. I'm pretty sure this is to help give us a timeline and stuff, because before we were all like, when is this stuff happening? And so then we have these messages that come through. We send signals to ourselves through their domain. Did we really believe they wouldn't add their own? Again, we're gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. Because who is they? Who are they? Who's adding messages? We'll get back to it. Not aliens. The creator did confirm it was not aliens adding their own messages, so. Video 7, Real Sleep. I probably should have mentioned in the beginning, but like, if you watched Real Sleep, that's got like the Clayton map, that bit where it's like, look at your screen. That's a real thing that's genuinely been proven scientifically to like disrupt your sleep. If you watched it and you like actually looked at it, I'm sorry if you have trouble sleeping. Whoops. But like, yeah, careful with that. So, um, you're watching through and it's like, there's a split second of video cassette is non-transferable, intended solely for the personal use of Philip Gerhardt, ID number 750117, Thought Research Initiative, copyright 1983. So, the first section goes over some myths and facts about sleep, and it claims that dreaming during REM sleep is correlational, not causal, and it claims that dreams can predict the future. Precognition is a lie. Claims benefits of sleep are diminished by dreaming. Then it gets into this Clayton man stuff. And it asks you to repeat the phrase out loud, "There are no faces." And there's this subliminal messaging thing. Like, if you actually, like, look through the messages and stuff, it's all about, like, don't sleep, sleep is bad, it's, dreaming is bad, stuff like that. And it's absolutely crazy. And then the end says, "Don't see a doctor." Like, it starts with a message being like, if you are finding this is not effective, go see a doctor. And then it changes to, "Don't see a doctor." um, so like some of the subliminal messages that go over through that little flash pit point are like, they follow night to bleed the dream. And another one is, you owe the messenger. It's just like, again, I'm not a mastermind. I haven't like woven all of this stuff into coherent thoughts, but like, this is still crazy. So video 8, sky watching. This 12 a.m. sky watching. So the opening title is hijacked and replaced by by someone's camcorder footage with red text overlaying saying sky watching. So they zoom in on 3 stars, and it's Orion's belt. And here's a note here: the stars they focus in on to show the constellations, I'm pretty sure they just edited in little dots in After Effects so you could actually like see them. I'm not sure if they actually correlate with the night sky and stuff, which, fair enough, you're going for an analog horror style. You want the people to be able to see what what you want them to see without, you know, all this confusion and stuff, so fair enough. And then the next constellation it zooms in is Pleiades. It looks like a Big Dipper or Little Dipper, but it's actually its own constellation. It's like some of the brightest in the sky. Or maybe it is just nicknamed those things. I looked it up, and I know it's a real constellation. I didn't look in the like nicknames or folklore tab, so like maybe it is the Big Dipper or Little Dipper, and I am just completely missing that. But anyways, then we point towards the moon, and it's called his throne. His throne. And also, something to note there is that, like, the darkness, it appears to be, like, some type of gibbous, but the darkness is at the bottom, like, instead of on either side of the moon. So, pretty sure that is, like, not supposed to be happening. So that's probably an easy way for you to tell that that is, like, an edited in moon in the sky. You know, that was filmed without the moon in the sky, so because that's sideways. I don't know if there's anything that would make it look like that in real life, but whatever. So they zoom in with this camera, like, really, really zoom in. Like, whoa, how did you get that on a camcorder, my dude? And you see on the moon fleshy tendril-like things, kind of similar to what we saw in A Show for Children, from that like second grave in A Show for Children. And also you see these like clouds of dust and air movement, which should not be happening on the moon. We've established the reason we even like have like Buzz Aldrin's footprints or whatever preserved on the moon, like, because like the dust does not move. There's no wind movement or currents on the moon in real life. In this series, it's moving. And like we go to another shot, and it looks like all this dust is being brought into this deep hole, like it's breathing, like it's taking in air or something. um And then we get to, this is another thing that made everyone think aliens, and the creator had to come out and be like, no, it's not aliens. These round and triangular formations, like it just full on looks like there's a castle or something built on the moon, and there's this like giant triangle thing. What? No answers for that so far. Wow, what the hell? Um, and so the tape gets blurry and they zoom back out and the moon is gone. Like the moon just faded out of the sky and we zoom back out and there's no moon in the sky. Uh, where did it go? Well, the guy like changes lenses or whatever, and when we cut back, the moon is there. Oh, there's a vroom vroom going by. I'm right by the exit gate, so people like to vroom out. Okay. Okay, hopefully he's not gonna. Oh, thank God he's done. Okay. Engine cut out. So we cut back, and the moon is huge. It is right there. Like the distance it was a little bit before, it is way closer now. And it's like, okay, it's really, really bright. So they turn down the brightness, and there's something there. There is this giant thing in the moon. So So I'm gonna do a little theory crafting now, just so I don't forget at the end, because I'm really thinking about it right now. But so the moon was said to be his throne. So is this thing hatching out of the moon like an egg? Or is this thing just like sitting in the moon? I don't know. But like it looks like this bird owl thing, and I'm pretty sure like that creature embryo thing we saw before, that was same thing as this thing that's now sitting in the moon. Also, there's a little text that says rejoice at the end, and you're like, ah, the moon. But like, whatever. This is insane. Teleporting moon. That doesn't happen. Um, I don't know how to calculate how big that would be in the sky or anything like that. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. But like, oh, this made everyone go crazy. And so now we have video 9, digital transition. So, this video goes over, okay, local 58, we're gonna switch from analog to digital. Likely as an effort to avoid the whole like, ah, we're being hijacked again, by the moon. So they also give a website and a phone number, and if you text that phone number, you actually get a message back. There are other receivers. And if you get a call, and if you call that number, there's like an audio thing, which we've translated some of that back into there are other receivers. It gives another message. So that's just crazy. And there's a website and everything. But like for the video, it goes to it's like, okay, we'll transition at midnight, and then midnight happens, and it's like, it's like, your video may not be transmissible, and whatever. And then it goes, unthinking they move to cut his throat, only to make 1,000 mouths. If he is silenced, we will speak for him. Signs and wonders flood our little sky. No stars above us, only eyes, waiting to open. There are other receivers. Oh my god. So basically, what this is saying is that by switching to digital, the moon can no longer hijack the signal because the signal is no longer going through space. So um, they cut the moon's throat. They cut his ability to speak. But in doing so, the moon's worshippers become his thousands of mouths. If he is silenced, we will speak for him. Signs and wonders flood our little sky. No stars above us, only eyes. Which makes me think, you know that big thing in the moon we talked about earlier? Are there more of them? How many celestial bodies out there are eggs for these giant beings? Or like his throne, his seat. How many celestial objects are like that? How many stars hold something inside of them? That's just insane. Um, and there's also some other, like, on the website, there are some, yeah, no stars above us, only eyes waiting to open. Does that mean the moon actually did hatch that thing that was sitting in it? Does that mean other things can do that? Who knows? So, um, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the website, just some specific code stuff. Like, there's a bit at some point where, like, there's QR code that you scan and you get parasite is the host as inhabitant is to environment. Um, and then there's one that has like a fake error message page, like a 500 error thing, and at the bottom it says apogee instead of Apache, and uh, apogee is the point in which the moon is farthest from Earth, so there are little tidbits and stuff, so that's a little fun. Then there is another bit that is like before the gilded door, before the gilded door sill of our master's silent house, we lift our mortal eyes along its wide forgotten stair, and fix them there upon an empty throne. An empty throne. So whatever was in the moon, his throne, it's empty now. Crazy. I love this series. And then the QR code for that below is a predator cannot differentiate prey from an accomplice, which I think is like a message towards these cultist people who are worshipping the moon, like, you're not going to be spared because a predator cannot differentiate an accomplice from prey. It's the same. You're gonna die all the same. People are thinking, oh, if we worship the moon, if we worship this, like, godly whatever it is up in the moon, this, maybe it's like, kind of like, I'm forgetting the word for it, but whatever. Yeah, you're not gonna be spared. This thing doesn't care. And there's another QR code thing where it's like, beyond a certain point, watching is no different from doing. Apparently the website is not over yet. It will be updated eventually, but it's been a while. So, and then the final video, this is the video where it's like off to the side. So if you go into on YouTube, you go from the videos on Local 58 to playlists. Under playlists, the first playlist in that like list of playlists, it will be like a streaming. And if you click on that video, you'll get another video 10 close, which is actually half an hour long. So at this point, Local 58 has gone from analog to digital. So now we're in digital horror, which is fun. So we have like this half-hour long live stream of a close mission, commentary lander orbiter survey expedition mission to 57838 Eidolon. By the way, Eidolon means a phantom or ghost or something along those lines. So that's fun. 1P-2006 Telesky. I'm not sure if that's a reference to something. What's that citing? Like first period 2006? I don't know. By Space and Aeronautics Regulatory Oversight. That's not a real company. I looked. It's not real. That's something you gotta deal with. So over the course of this like 30-minute long live stream. There's like talking in the background, which is a terrible, terrible quality. You cannot understand like anything these people are saying at all. So like, I didn't even try. But there is text that comes up on the screen, and they talk about like all these different facts about this like comet or meteor or whatever it is specifically. They don't say specifically. They just keep referring to it as Eidolon. But like it was discovered in 2006, and it has a really rapid rotation and high albedo, which makes surface details harder to make out. And albedo is like the ratio of reflected light to incident light, or it's like a fraction of sunlight diffusely reflected by a body. So like it's like how much light is being reflected by a celestial object. So that's pretty cool. And there are so many little bits and pieces about astronomy in this. This is the one that's really heavy on astronomy, probably because it's longer than 5 minutes. But like, so there's asteroids with comparably high surface reflectivity often contain no iron, instead being mostly pyroxene silicates. I can't really confirm that specifically, but I could confirm that pyroxene. I put in pyroxene and then astronomy, and it says that it is a group of silicate minerals that are common in the Earth's crust and are also found in the lunar surface and from Mercury. But like focus more on lunar surface. These people did their homework on this. It also says as an Amor class outer Earth grazer, Eidolon never approaches closer to the sun than the Earth does at any point on its orbit, which is another term that's real. I looked it up, and it's the orbital farallon of the object's is close to but greater than the orbital aphelion. I don't know how to pronounce any of this, of Earth, with most Amors crossing the orbit of Mars. God, this is a 40 long video. I'm so sorry for this. And then it's also classified as a potentially hazardous asteroid, PHA. That's another real thing, but its orbit has been determined for the next 500 years. Be safe. And the meteor thing looks like a skull from certain angles, and it shows like a few artistic renditions of like the skull bit, and one of them looks really, really similar to that, like, to this guy, the dead skeleton guy from A Show for Children. Yeah, this face looks a lot like that face, which is really creepy and crazy, but not as creepy as crazy as like within like when it gets close to like 2 minutes to landing, they see a door on the asteroid. I think that's what I should be saying. I don't know. I go back and forth a lot. It's 10 p.m. and I still gotta ship this out to you, so. But yeah, it's a door. It lands by a door, and the door opens, and then it just gets flung back out into space, the probe. Which is insane, because, like, there should not be a door on the asteroid. There should not be a door on the asteroid. And it's just, this is a crazy thing. It's just, I'm not sure what this means. I don't know. I like watching theory videos. I'm not really good at coming up with my own, but like, yeah. So some information that has been like up on the screen like the entire time was the aphelon, for this thing, which is 3.39 AU, which is AU is an astronomical unit, which is close to 149,597,870,700 meters, apparently, which is cool to find out. And the perihelion is 1.01 AU. It's got an eccentric of 0.55, which an eccentric is like a measure of the deviation from a circular form or path. as in like an elliptical orbit. So it's like, okay, how much different are you from like a perfect circle? So that's a fun thing. That's another measurement, and it's got a orbital period of 3.27 years. I'm assuming that's Earth years. So yeah, it they really did their homework on this. It's a great thing. Like, don't just sit. I mean, I personally can't just sit there and watch through it all at once. I had to like click through and like just read the little bits and just like, I couldn't wait. So if you click through, you can get through it pretty fast. But like again, I just at least watch that last few minutes. That was crazy. But yeah, that just about sums up Local 58 so far. Um, in the future, I will try my best to not make a 40 minute long video about these series, but uh my thoughts about what's happening is that the moon is like host to like this giant entity bird looking thing that calls the moon its throne. Or maybe that's just a cultist thing. And they're like, oh, it's his throne. It's an egg or something, I think, maybe. And so the moonlight can affects your brain, hypnotizes you, and or maybe kills you. It's just crazy. Uh, that's why we would need a contingency plan where our option is to show our defiance to them. Oh, to show the defiance to the moon, because in the video it's like, oh, remember like the three L's, like lawn, face up, feet together, face up on the front lawn. It's like the three F's. That's why we would do it in the front lawn to show to the moon that we're not bowing down to it. Oh my god, I just put that together. And so it interferes with the signals that go up in its domain, specifically signals at, because local 58 uh, is at 476 megahertz. And so they like shut down analog to try and get rid of this thing, to be like, okay, we're not going to deal with your interference anymore. And then we get digital horror. Like an entire year after, because the live stream is supposed to take place a year after the thing like transfers over from analog to digital. So it's like a year later, and they're like, "Oh wait, the moon can still affect us." Um, and it's just, I don't know. Props to them for that last like 30-minute thing, because that was so much detail. Like it was really scientific. I highly, um. But yeah, I don't know how to video edit, so this is just gonna be the raw footage. I hope this uploads. Right, I gotta upload this to YouTube, and then oh right, I forgot about that step. I hope I can upload this in time. Yeah, go watch Local 58. I hope you enjoyed. Uh, have a lovely night. Um, yeah, thank you.